What can you learn from Kylie Jenner's plastic surgery? Well, my name is Dr. Anthony Yoon, and I'm known as America's holistic plastic surgeon. I help health-conscious women over 30 look their best by teaching them a holistic approach to health and beauty. And today, we are going to talk all about Kylie Jenner. What can you learn about what she's had done? Well, let's start by taking a look at how she used to look. How do you go from looking like she did back in 2012, which is a very pretty young woman, nobody would look at her and say she's anything but that, to looking like how she did in 2018. Well, there is quite a big difference between these two pictures. And as you probably know, if you're watching this video, she had lots of stuff happen to her once she changed her look. So let's break it down for her, or for you right now, of what we're seeing here. And obviously the most obvious thing are her lips. Now, you may have heard of the Kylie Jenner Challenge. And this is when young women would do various things to their lips to try to make their lips bigger. They would use suction cups on their lips with little vacuum seals. They would apply different things to sting their lips to make them bigger. And they would do basically what I believe she did, had her lips done. And that's a pretty big difference. Now, one of the things that people ask me when they come in to try to get their lips done and lips plumped is quite often people say, hey, I just want to get my upper lip done. Well, if you look at her, her upper lip on her before picture is very, very thin. Her lower lip's a bit thicker. On the after photo, her upper lip is much, much thicker, but the lower lip is thicker as well. So it's really important to realize that if all you do is plump up the upper lip, it looks strange, like a duck. And that's the whole trout pout that you may have seen on some Hollywood celebrities. I don't think Kylie has that, though. I think she looks fantastic. And so it really just shows you how enhancing the lips can really help bring out the beauty in a person. And the interesting thing is I don't think she had anything done with her eyes. But if you look at her, her eyes look prettier here. Some of it could be makeup, but also sometimes when you kind of alter some of the proportions of the face, like let's say making the lips fuller, in a weird way, it can almost make the eyes look prettier. And I've seen that in some of my patients. So lips being the most obvious thing, I think that she had them injected with a filler like Juvederm or Restylane, and I think they did a very nice job. You can see a big change for her. But what are some other changes that we see here? Well, her nose has been altered, or appears to have been altered. You can see that the nose here in the after picture looks a bit thinner and really a bit more contoured. It looks more elegant than how she looked before. Now, she never had a bad looking nose or anything like that, but it was a subtle tweak that causes the nose to look just a bit more elegant, a bit more glamorous. What else do I think she's had done? She may have had some slimming in her chin area. Now, this is a pretty big procedure, and their doctors will actually shave bone down. I'm not sure if she had that done. It's also possible that after 6 years, her face has just matured. You know, that can happen as well. And part of the changes that you're seeing in her chin may be just due to getting older and the face changing. What else am I seeing here? I do think she may have had a bit of filler put into her cheeks. Her cheeks look a bit more lifted. They look a little fuller. She has a different type of a contour to her cheeks. She may have had a buccal fat removal where fat is removed from the inside of the cheeks to help create more of a contour there. And I also think she may have had a bit of Botox. Botox injected into her forehead to give the brows a bit of a different shape. So if you inject Botox into the forehead, you can create more arching of the eyebrows, and that could be part of it as well. And of course, the thing that people don't talk a lot about, everybody talks about plastic surgery and injections, but really, really good makeup. You can see how her brows are better shaped. They're a bit thicker than they were before. Overall, her makeup is fantastic. She looks much more pale in this picture. She's got a different type of a color in the picture here. So all of these little things take somebody from being a very pretty young woman to being who she is today. And nobody once again would argue that she's not pretty in both pictures, but we are definitely seeing a change here. So I do think it's important, though, to realize that there are some big lessons for us to learn from Kylie Jenner, in addition to just breaking it down, saying, okay, this is what she may have had done. And I should say that I've not treated Kylie, so this is just purely my opinion. But I do think that we have some lessons that we can learn from her that are really important for people to know if they're going to consider having plastic surgery. So one of the things that I think Hollywood is not good to us is that celebrities typically don't admit when they've had plastic surgery. And so it creates this unrealistic expectation that us normal people should look as good as celebrities. Well, I'll tell you, my belief is that most of the stars in Hollywood have had a nose job. Now, there are a lot of celebrities, big name, A-list celebrities, that when I look at pictures of them or I see them in video, I am certain that they've had their nose done. Okay, and I think the majority of celebrities, honestly, and stars in Hollywood have had their nose done. And I know plastic surgeons out in Hollywood who would agree with me. So if you are a quote-unquote normal person like me, then don't necessarily feel like you have to live up to these types of expectations, okay? Hollywood stars, they've had a lot of plastic surgery. They have access to pretty much whatever treatment that they want with the money to pay for it and the best makeup, okay? And so don't feel bad if you don't feel that you can live up to how they look. It's just their job, and they have a ton of money and resources to look the way that they do. I think it's important to realize that lip filler can have very serious long-term consequences. So ever since Kylie Jenner, her lips have really transformed as they have, and they look so incredible and amazing, we've had a plethora of young women come into my office wanting their lips done. And I tell you, it's something that I don't think is a good thing for most women. Lip filler, best case scenario, if you have your lips done many, many times, you can create scar tissue. That scar tissue can feel thick. It can create some uneven textures on the surface of the skin. And if you start doing it when you're in your 20s, we don't really know how it's going to look when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, okay? And as a 20-some-year-old, if you're watching this video, you may not think that you're going to care how you look when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, but believe me, you will care. and I have patients who are in their 60s and even 70s who really care about how they look. And it's important to realize that lip filler can have long-term consequences, and some we may not know about. The other thing to keep in mind is that you can get major complications from lip fillers. If they're not done appropriately, if they're accidentally injected into a blood vessel, you can literally create scarring of your lips. You can lose a part of your lip. Your lip can literally turn black and can slough off, and you'll be missing a part of your lip if the filler is accidentally injected into a lip. So how you prevent this from happening? Number one, you don't get your lips done. Okay, but if you are going to get your lips done, make sure they use a hyaluronic acid-based filler, one like Restylane or Juvederm, and make sure ideally that it's injected with a cannula, which in general is safer than a needle. So keep that in mind. And I think it's important to realize that in the end, you're the same person. This is both Kylie Jenner, okay? This is 100% Kylie Jenner, 100% Kylie Jenner. So just having plastic surgery, altering your appearance, doesn't mean it's going to alter how you are on the inside. Maybe it'll help give you a bit more confidence, like it may have for Kylie, but in the end, you're still the same person. So I hope you found this interesting. Subscribe and watch these videos coming up. I hope it's great information for you.